Good morning to all. Today let us discuss about physical and chemical properties of alkyl halide. Alkyl halide அல்லது alkyl halide அல்லது alloalkane. Structural formula Rx, molecular formula CnH2n plus 1x. This we have discussed in last classes. So today we will discuss about some of the important physical and chemical properties of alkyl halide. So what are the major physical properties? Suppose we have to discuss in any organic compound. Some of the major physical properties we have to discuss about for any organic compound are: number one is we have to say about the state, physical state, whether the given compound is in the gaseous state or liquid state or solid state. First you have to discuss about the state. If I am saying any state means there are three different states. To understand the basic concept is when atoms or molecules are very close to one another, it is existing in solid state. Solid state means atoms or molecules are very close. Imagine if it is a molecule, if the molecules are comes closer means therefore the intermolecular force must be greater. Therefore the intermolecular force between the two molecules will determine whether the molecule exists in solid. Suppose if the molecules are slightly go away such that the gap is slightly increases, now the molecule can assume to exist in liquid state. If they are very far away, if there is no interaction between the molecule in any form, whether it is attraction or repulsion, உனக்கு எனக்கு தொடர்பே இல்லை, no form of interaction, then the molecules we can say that they are existing in gaseous state. Therefore, if you want to say about if the molecule is existing in gaseous state or liquid state or solid state, what we have to see is if the intermolecular force, such as intermolecular force. What are the intermolecular forces? We know. Even if the molecule is neutral, the intermolecular force can exist is called van der Waals force. Van der Waals force. This van der Waals force is directly proportional to the surface area of a molecule because it does not depend on any charge. Even though a neutral molecule can exhibit a intermolecular force. Between the two atoms, a bond will be formed and form a molecule. ரெண்டு ஆட்டத்துக்கு நடுவுல ஒரு bond form ஆகி molecule form ஆயிருக்கும். Atom will become a molecule. I am not saying about the interatomic force. And this is a molecule, another one is a molecule. For example, H2O. This is one molecule, another is a molecule. Between O and H is an interatomic bond. I am not saying about this one. But what is a molecule? Another what is a molecule? If there is a force existing between the two water molecules, such a force we can call it as intermolecular force. If this intermolecular force is more, then it will be in a solid state. If it is less, they will go slightly far apart. The shape will begins to vary and the molecule begins to mobilize and it loses its shape and structure, becoming liquid. If the molecules are go far away, no interaction at all, ni yaro na yaro, no interaction, then it is called gases. So what are the intermolecular forces? One is van der Waals force for all neutral molecules, and this van der Waals force depends only on surface area. If the surface area more, van der Waals force more, the molecule will comes closer and may change from gaseous to liquid state or to solid state. This is common basic principle. Suppose if the molecule is already existing as a dipole, that means one name, even though molecule, one name will have a small positive charge, other name may have small negative charge. For example, consider a molecule of HCl. Cl have a small negative, H will have a small positive. Any dipole molecule will interact with another dipole molecule. பக்கத்துல இன்னொரு dipole கொண்டு வர. If this is plus and this is minus, you know, now between these two molecules there will be a force. This is called dipole-dipole interaction. Dipole-dipole interaction. This is also intermolecular force. First, I should be very conscious that intermolecular force is different from a bond between the two atoms. Intermolecular force is responsible to understand the state of a substance. If the intermolecular force, there are two: dipole-dipole interaction, van der Waals force. Dipole-dipole interaction, van der Waals force, both are depends upon the surface area, and in this case, in addition to this, this also depends upon the charge density. One more term is called charge density delta minus or delta plus. And then this mode, then the molecule will slightly change from solid or liquid or gas. Therefore, for all physical state, remember it should depend upon the surface area and the nature of the charge. Based on this, now I am going to explain the physical state of alkali. Alkali means, suppose if this is CX1, CCX, this is second molecule, CCCCX third molecule. For these two molecules, surface area is less, this may exist as a gaseous state. Surface area is less, only two molecules. If the molecule carbon number increases, now you see the surface area increases, therefore intermolecular force between one butyl, this is propyl, and the propyl and butyl molecule of one, butyl molecule of the other may experience a van der Waals force. As a result, the molecules may come closer and this may become a state may change from gaseous to liquid. If you go to the higher member, more carbon, you see when the carbon number increases, surface area increases, naturally the intermolecular force will increases, automatically the molecules will come closer, therefore they can exist in a state is called solid state. Any doubt? Therefore I can say that methyl and ethyl chloride may be in a gas, but higher members slightly will change from liquid state to the solid state. What is the reason behind this? Van der Waals force. Or we can maybe say that if it is existing in the dipole, this may be dipole-dipole interaction. Whether it is a van der Waals force or dipole-dipole interaction, it depends upon the surface area. When the surface area increases, naturally the state will also changes from liquid to solid. Then one more important point, we have to study about melting under the boiling point. Melting or boiling point. Suppose I am saying it's a melting or boiling point. Again, this also depends upon what is going to be melting. Melting point is nothing but the point where solid is going to be converted into liquid state. Boiling point is the point where liquid is going to be converted into gaseous state. Therefore, again, phase conversion. Suppose if the this phase conversion is depends upon the intermolecular force. If the intermolecular force is greater, is directly proportional to melting and boiling point. What I am saying is, if the intermolecular force is more, melting and boiling point will be more. Therefore, if you see that when compared to CX, CCX will have more melting point. CCCCX will have more melting and boiling point. CCCCCX will have more melting point. Therefore, I can say that when the carbon number increases, as the surface area increases, melting point and boiling point will increases from methyl to butyl. Point number 1. Then number 2. Suppose I am taking only one carbon. You see, C is combined with the fluorine, C is combined with the chlorine, C is combined with the bromine, C is combined with the iodine. To understand, C is combined with the fluorine, C is combined with the chlorine, C is combined with the bromine, C is combined with the iodine. You see, when the chlorine to iodine, the shape or size goes on increases. As the size increases, again surface area increases. As the surface area increases, naturally intermolecular force will increase. Therefore, again the boiling point and melting point will increase. Therefore, I can say that in the increasing order, boiling point is Ci is greater than Cbr is greater than Ccl is greater than Cf. Because as the size increases, van der Waals force or any other intermolecular force is directly proportional to the surface area. This is very, very important. And one more point we should think about how the surface area changes or how the melting and boiling point changes on regard to branching. For example, I am taking butyl. Butyl means C4H9X. So branching means butyl can exist in 3 different forms. One is primary, another is secondary. Okay, C. So this C may be here and this is CCX. And the third is tertiary, CCCCCCX. Now you can see that the surface area for the primary is more than the secondary, than the tertiary. Therefore, surface area is more for primary, little bit less for secondary, little bit less for tertiary. Therefore, boiling point is more for this, and this is lesser, and this is lesser. One reason. And one more reason is each and every carbon will become as an alkyl group, bulky group. This bulky group is also have the intention to repel with one another. So to explain this, எப்படி புரிஞ்சிக்கலாம் அப்படினா PTC பஸ்ல போறீங்க ஒரு சீட்ல ரெண்டு பேர் தான் உட்கார முடியும். Only 2% can accommodate the seat. If one person is fat, another person is little bit thin na comfortable உட்காரலாமே. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு fat ஒரு thin இந்த மாதிரி fat thin. இங்க என்னன்னா one தடியை பக்கத்துல இன்னொரு தடியை எப்படி உட்காருவீங்க? This is called stericine rings, இடம் கொள்ளாமை. But due to the occupation of the bulky group also they are repelling and not ready to stabilize, therefore boiling and melting point decreases. Intermolecular force decreases. Among the butyl, now what is the order of the boiling point or order of the melting point is primary alkyl halide is greater than secondary alkyl halide is greater than tertiary due to two reasons. Among this one, surface area decreases when you move from primary to secondary. Second one is steric hindrance, idam kollamai. Steric hindrance, idam kollamai increases. Due to these two reasons, you can explain the melting and boiling point. End it up. Melting and boiling point is most focusedly, it depends upon the surface area. Intermolecular force, melting and boiling point. I can say that intermolecular force is directly proportional to the surface area, or you can say that it is proportional to size, or you can say that intermolecular force is inversely proportional to the branching. When the branching increases, intermolecular force decreases. When the intermolecular force decreases, both melting and boiling point will decreases. As a teacher, I can able to stimulate your learning and understanding. Once you understand the basic concepts, you can able to answer yourself. That is the most important. The second thing is, what I studied is melting point and boiling point. Therefore, you can say that melting point and boiling point, you can say that regarding for melting point and boiling point, I can make a small note that both the melting point and the boiling point proportional to intermolecular force is proportional to size or is proportional to length of a chain, length of linear chain, and is inversely proportional to branching. These are the important points that you should keep in mind. First one is resistance, second is melting and boiling point. Then third one is you have to think about the solubility. Solubility. Generally, solubility means, when I am saying the solubility means, if there is any difficulty for the solute to dissolve in the solvent, then it is called as solubility. எப்போது solubility நான் சொல்றேன்னா நீ போட்ட பொருள்ல கரையிறதுக்கு விரும்பல, it is not ready to dissolve. Not ready to dissolve அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு parameters படிக்கிறது solubility is not ready to dissolve. அப்போ the solubility increase means solvent should be more, solute must be less. அப்போ solvent must be more means again it is also depends upon the surface area. And again it is also depends upon the intermolecular force. But between the solvent and the solute, if there is intermolecular force, then the solute will begins to dissolve. உனக்கு எனக்குமே பிடிக்கல அப்படின்னா கரைய மாட்டேன். சால்வெண்ட்டுக்கு சொல்யூட்டுக்குள்ள ஒரு அட்ராக்ஷன் வந்துச்சுன்னா கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா கரைய ஆரம்பிக்கும். It also depends upon the intermolecular force. Therefore, again it is also proportional to surface area. It is also proportional to most important thing is so nature of attraction between the two. So inversely proportional to branching. Inversely proportional to branching. Again here also solubility. Generally, alkyl halide is not having H bond, free H. This cannot liberate any free H. Since it is not having any free H ion, it will not dissolve in, not soluble in water. Not soluble in water. If any organic compound is to dissolve in water means it should have the intention to form an important bonding is called H bonding. This again we have to discuss in one more class, very detailed. But one more thing is, if any organic compound has to dissolve in water means it should have the intention to form H bonding. ஒரு ஹைட்ரஜன் பாண்டிங் ஃபார்ம் ஆகிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே இல்லைன்னா அது தண்ணியில் கரையாது. அப்போ இங்கே ஹைட்ரஜன் பாண்டிங் வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இல்லை. அதனால் ஜென்ரலாக ஆல்கல் ஹலைட்ஸ் ஆர் இன்சால்யூபிள் இன் வாட்டர். தென் அடுத்தது அப்போ எனி சால்யூபிலிட்டி if it is not ready to dissolve in water means there are two things. Therefore they can dissolve in organic compounds. In hence it can dissolve in organic compound means organic compound again class in two types. One is polar compound, another is non-polar compound. Non-polar C6H6, polar CH3X likewise. Therefore, if alkyl is polar means any polar compound dissolves in polar. Like dissolves in like. Like dissolves in like. CCl4. This is HX, or we can say that any polar compounds, if you take any polar compound, alkyl halides will dissolve in polar and not ready to dissolve in non-polar because our alkyl halide is basically polar. In this case, RH, X is more electronegative, becomes a negative, and this becomes carbon becomes positive. Therefore, polar molecule may begins to dissolve or intend to dissolve only in polar, not in non-polar. And moreover, they are not ready to dissolve in water because it does not have any intention to form the H bonding, and therefore it is not soluble in water, but it is soluble only in polar organic compound. Then next I want to discuss about stability. Then we have to discuss about stability. Stability. This stability means stability of that particular alkyl compound means now you have to think about stability means you have to think about this atomic bond. Now you forget about intermolecular force. When I am saying about the stability, you have to think about now what is the force of attraction between the alkyl group and the halogen atom. Therefore between these two, not between the two neighbor. எனக்கு உனக்கு உறவை பத்தி சொல்ல முடியும், என் வீட்டுக்கு பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்கு உறவை பத்தி பேசக்கூடாது. So it is a relation between me and my wife, not between me and the neighbor. இந்த பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்கு எனக்கு உறவு சொல்றது பேரு intermolecular bonding. இப்போ எனக்கும் என் ஒய்ஃபுக்குள்ள உறவு சொல்றது பேரு that is called stability தேவையான atomic bond. இப்போ இந்த stabilityல R is F, R with Cl, R with Br, R with I. Fluorine is more electronegative, therefore strength is more. Less. Electronegativity decreases from fluorine to chlorine. Or compared to iodine, bromine is more attractive and chlorine is little more. Fluorine is little more. Therefore, we can say that RF is having high electronegativity, more stable than RCl, more stable than RBr, more stable than RI. When I am saying the stability, you have to think about interatomic bond and forget about intermolecular force. Therefore, RF is more stable. And finally, one more thing we have to think about is dipole moment. Dipole moment. I think you can able to recall the expression for dipole moment. It is given in physics is Q into the distance between the two charges 2d. Distance between the two charges 2d. Suppose here I am saying, and this charge and the distance between the two depends upon, again it is an interatomic bond, R and X. If the force of attraction between the two increases, the distance will decrease. That is, force of attraction between the two is inversely proportional to square of the distance. And this is positive and this is negative. Therefore, this dipole moment depends upon this nature of the charge. It depends upon electron affinity, not electronegativity. Electronegativity is nothing but the intention of attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. That is different. Electron affinity is intention to attract the electron from the neighbor. என்னால எவ்வளவு எலக்ட்ரான் சாப்பிட முடியும் அப்படி. அப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா iodine is bigger size, cannot attract electron effectively, is lesser than bromine. Bromine electron affinity should be lesser than chlorine. Chlorine should be lesser than fluorine, but there is a small change here. Even though fluorine is having high electron affinity, the size is smaller, therefore it is not ready to attract much more electron as we are expecting. உதாரணமா நான் இங்க உட்கார்ந்திருக்கேன், என்னுடைய பாப்பா உட்கார்ந்திருக்கு. Affinity means எனக்கு 10 இட்லி சாப்பிடணும் ஆசை இருக்கு, இதுக்கு 10 இட்லி சாப்பிடணும் ஆசை இருக்கு அப்படினா இவனால முடியாது, என்னால முடியும். Just like chlorine and fluorine. Even though the intention to take is more, but the stomach availability is not possible. அப்ப electron affinity compared to this two, compared to fluorine is slightly greater. Therefore, electron affinity slightly changes. Iodine slightly greater is bromine, then fluorine, the maximum is chlorine. Therefore, when now the electron affinity increases, you see force is inversely proportional to R. When R decreases, dipole moment also decreases. Therefore, you can say that dipole moment is inversely proportional to electron affinity. Or we can say that dipole moment is inversely proportional Therefore, among these two, dipole moment is as the maximum for chlorine means size will decrease. As the size decreases, dipole moment will be least for RCl. Because so when it comes closer, this therefore this will be RF, and this will be RBr, and this will be RF. Okay. Therefore, dipole moment is inversely proportional to electron affinity. That's all.